For more perspective on this, let's bring in Elyader. He is joining us from Isfahan and he's a geopolitical and economical analyst. Sir, once again, welcome back to Asia One. Negotiations are underway between Iran and Oman on opening a temporary route through the Strait of Hormuz. At this stage, does it sound like real progress is being made?
Honestly, Mr. Baghai, Iran's foreign ministry spokesman, summarized the talks and outlined the fact that Iran and Oman are the countries that have maritime jurisdiction, legal rights through this water passageway, and Iran is acting responsibly along with Oman to ensure safe passage of maritime shipping through the Strait of Hormuz. Therefore, obviously, these talks are positive. Iran is doing this responsibly, as perhaps Iran has less to suffer ongoing because of the various land borders it has, the Caspian Sea that is also attached to Iran. Therefore, Iran had other trade route options, but in order to maybe salvage regional peace, in order to maybe take a step forward towards not taking the world's economy into chaos and disaster, Iran and Oman are acting responsibly under their coastal jurisdiction and taking talks forward on how perhaps the security umbrella ongoing through the Strait of Hormuz will be managed. As point number 4 in the MOU, Iran wanted to see less American intervention in the region, the bases gone from the region, and point number 5 also stipulated the maritime traffic being coordinated with Oman. So even if the MOU is being violated, Iran is still taking a stance which complements the MOU that was mediated by Pakistan. So obviously, responsible steps by responsible countries and mediation, responsible mediation too.
Well, so the Gulf nations reportedly urged Trump to de-escalate. How much pressure do you think that put on Washington to halt the strikes?
So we were talking about responsible countries and mediation, where on the other side of the spectrum, you have an irresponsible, erratic, unreliable Trump administration. Therefore, I don't take their statements too reliably. I think America has lost a lot of credibility, even in terms of their statements. What the Iranian foreign minister has said is that several countries have reached out to Iran. This includes Bulgaria, includes the United Kingdom, includes Qatar, and obviously Oman, who they're sitting with. They have reached out to Iran in order to show that they are not standing by the Americans for their warring path, and they do not want to see an escalation in volatility. They don't agree with Trump's rhetoric and the supposed actions that he was going to take. Therefore, if I take those statements more at face value, I think perhaps, yes, the Gulf Arab countries have more to gain than Iran with security, as they're with proper security and proper peace and less volatility. Why? Because their economies are more vulnerable than the Iranian economies. They are oil exporting countries, and when their oil exports are basically stopped or halted, they rely so much on imports and increasing prices in their economies. And these kind of volatilities makes their economies very, very vulnerable. And if the Trump statements if Trump was to act on his statements, which I think, as I had mentioned before, was more of a bluff game, as he had the American THAAD interceptors, their Patriot missile interceptors and batteries had been depleted so much that I don't think they could have defended the Arab countries, their infrastructure, and the American military bases. Therefore, I think maybe, I don't know if it was true that they called Trump, but even if they did, obviously it would be responsible, understandable, and logical.
And so just how damaging is this dual blockade on the Strait of Hormuz? And how urgently does the global economy need it to be reopened?
Oh, absolutely, economy needs the Strait of Hormuz to be open, as it's the lifeline for oil trade, for energy flows. And we all know that the global economy runs on energy, whether it's a dual blockade, a singular blockade, or a triple blockade. What matters is that oil isn't coming out. But I think the assertion of the Iranians on the Strait of Hormuz, the Persian Gulf, the Gulf of Oman, they have shown that they are the responsible parties to form the security umbrella of the Strait of Hormuz ongoing. The blockade is more of an assertion from Iran, from close to the proximity of its coastline. And I think Iran has already shown that it has the major control of the Strait of Hormuz. It also has the administration lines for ships to move forward. And the secondary blockade made by the Americans is one that I don't think is going to last much longer. And I don't think it has the same effect as Iran's assertion in the Persian Gulf.
And so, even if the strait reopens, do you think shipping companies will feel confident that it's actually safe to operate there?
With regards to shipping companies, so one thing that comes hand in hand with ships being chartered, or the movement of ships and maritime passage, is insurance. And a lot of these insurance companies have been shown not to insure ships in the Bab el Mandab, even not even only the Persian Gulf, because of the lack of security and volatility involved. Therefore, in order to regain that confidence with shipping companies, they would need to see a period of safe passage. And I think if they go ongoing, Iran will be the party that will probably ensure safe passage and security, as I think many of the Gulf Arab states are realizing this. They have realized that their neighbors, meaning Iran, have a more responsible stance for the ongoing safe passage of the Strait of Hormuz. I think shipping companies will also realize that. And the only cause for volatility and irrationality is the Israeli and American stance. And I think if they pull the brakes on the chaos that they have created and continue try to create, then maybe we can have a period of maybe safe passage, or less of an escalation for shipping companies also to gain confidence. But I think this will have to be analyzed in the ongoing days and weeks to see uh, how the volatility in the region will end up in the ensuing days.
Sir, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.